Hi, welcome back. Tonight I'm filming a book haul that I'm calling my Southern Book Haul because recently I had to take an unexpected road trip to North Carolina. And while I was down there, I encountered some books at a couple of bookstores and I had to bring them home with me. So let's just get started to see what I picked up. At the one new bookstore that I went to, I picked up a copy of The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I did read this book back in my high school days, a few years after it was first published, but I haven't read it again since then. And with all the hype with the recent Hulu series that's been coming out, I thought now would be a great time to reread this and then maybe watch the show. And then I encountered a used bookstore that was excellent. It had a wonderful selection, and I picked up quite a few books, one of which was this one's Travel with Charlie in Search of America by John Steinbeck. Now, I have read quite a few John Steinbeck novels, but I've never read any of his nonfiction. And from what I've heard other people talk about, this one sounded like it would be something I'd be interested in. It's about a road trip that Steinbeck took with his dog driving across America in the 60s. And I thought it sounded like something I'd be interested in. And I really like these Penguin classics. So I was excited to find that one. I found Tell the Wolves I'm Home by Carol Rifka Brunt. This novel is about a 14-year-old girl who loses her beloved uncle, and at his funeral she meets a strange man who was a friend of her uncle's, and through him she learns a lot more about her uncle's life. And I believe it has something to do. I don't want to say what I think it has something to do with because that might be a spoiler because it's not here on the back. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And heard a lot of good things about this book and have had it on my wish list for quite a while. So I was pleased to find a copy of it. I also found this copy of Pilgrim at Tinker Creek by Annie Dillard. This is nonfiction, collection of essays about nature and environmental issues that Annie Dillard has written. I've heard excellent things about her science writing. I believe I heard Amanda and Jen talk about it on the Get Book podcast, and I really love some science nonfiction, as you know, so I was really thrilled to find a copy of this, which has also been on my wish list for a while. I found My Name is Lucy Barton by Elizabeth Strout. This novel is about a woman who gets ill and has a complicated relationship with her mother, and her mother shows up to sort of help her through her illness and how they deal with each other considering the past that they have and the difficulties that they have with each other. I really enjoyed Olive Kittredge by this author when I read it a few years ago, which is a like connected short stories about a grumpy old woman from Maine, which I really found quite amusing. And I've been wanting to try something else by Elizabeth Strout ever since. And so when I saw this book on the shelf and having heard some good things about it from different reviewers, I thought, let's give it a try. I picked up a copy of The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. And the reason why I did is because I had been working on a project to read through a list of classics that a teacher gave me way in the past, and I've been working on it for over 20 years. There's a lot of books on that list. And I get through a few every year, and one of the few that I have left, I think I have like 8 or 9 left to get through, is The Old Man and the Sea. Now, I had read, I think, A Farewell to Arms by Ernest Hemingway in the past, and didn't love it, thought it was quite slow and dry, so haven't really been too excited about picking up something else from Hemingway, but this one's quite short, so hopefully I can try this one out, get it off my list, and won't drag it out for several months like I did A Farewell to Arms. Now on to some hardcovers that I found. This one's called The Wonder of All Things. This is a fiction book about a young girl who has an ability to heal. Which is, she's kept it a secret, but when she and her best friend are involved in a freak accident where a plane crashes on the ground where they are and the best friend is hurt, she heals her friend, and other people observe her do that, and so her secret's out about her healing power, and then people come to her to ask for her to heal them, and it's about what happens when you give of yourself to the point where you hurt yourself doing it, and when do you say no, basically. And I've heard several good things about this book, and so when I saw it on the shelf, I also really love this cover. It's so pretty. Thought I'll give it a go. Couple nonfiction here. Something Must Be Done About Prince Edward County, A Family, a Virginia Town, a Civil Rights Battle by Kristen Green. This is about a county in Virginia that when the law was passed to desegregate schools, decided, no, I ain't gonna do that. And they just closed down all their public schools and created a white-only private academy and basically left all the black kids to fend for themselves as far as their educational opportunities went. And this disgusting thing went on for decades and didn't end until sometime in the 80s. And I've heard quite a few good things about this book. It's heartbreaking but important, and when I saw this one on the shelf, I just couldn't leave it there. I had to bring it home, check it out for myself. Next is another one I'm very excited about, Lab Girl by Hope Jaron. For a science nerd, I think this one's a must-have. I've heard excellent things about it, about a woman who becomes a soil scientist and her journey in that field, and how trying to be in the science field as a woman, how that impacted her life. And she has started like 2 or 3 labs and the process of doing that. And so I'm very excited to read this book. I've been wanting to read it, and this lovely, like brand new condition hardcover. $7, people. $7. Yep, excited. And I'll end here with Black Panther by Ta-Nehisi Coates, the graphic novel. I'm not a huge graphic novel reader. I keep trying different ones. I haven't found one that I'm like really into to the point where I have to like get all the issues. Found some that I like and enjoy, and I'm hoping this is going to be one. I don't generally read superhero comics, but I read Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me last year, I think, and really enjoyed that book. Thought that was one of the best books I had read, and when I heard he was doing the Black Panther comic series, I thought that might be something I might be interested in. And so when I saw it on the shelf, I was like, hey, volume 1, let's try it out and see how it goes. So see how I do with that, and I'll report back later. So that's my Southern book haul, and sorry for lighting and all that. It's a particularly rainy, crappy night out here in Maine, so the lighting is not fabulous, but wanted to get this book haul filmed and up on the interwebs, as they say. Hope you're having a good night wherever you are and reading lots of great books. Talk to you soon. Bye.